attention metrics are more important than ever because the way that brands and agencies reach consumers has massively fragmented over the past 20 years. But the tools to measure that reach have not kept up with that fragmentation. It used to be that an advertiser had like 12 different ways of reaching a consumer across TV, radio, and print, and now they have the same number of formats on a single web page. So it's obvious that advertisers and agencies need a better way to understand what is the quality of reach against an audience. Now, attention has come to the forefront I think it should be the way that media is traded, and there's a lot of other people that are getting behind attention metrics, but it's important to unpack attention from this monolith of how long does somebody choose to pay attention to something into metrics that can be useful across media, audience, and creative.
In terms of advertisers taking that more thoughtful approach, looking at the intersection of optimizing for performance and user experience, how can optimizing for attention lift both of those, or what do you say to advertisers who feel they may be at odds?
Yeah, that's a great question, David. I think at a very superficial level, it might seem like there's some tension there, especially if you're taking like the Clockwork Orange approach to attention and thinking that you're going to like pin people's eyes open. But in practice, attention it's unquestionable that using the right attention metrics on media can improve the performance of campaigns. Like that has been proven over and over again by Adelaide and by other players in the market and brands and agencies. And everybody in the ecosystem has sort of proven in their own way that attention metrics drive more efficient outcomes. But if you zoom out and think about it on a macro level, the incentives that attention metrics create are positive, right? It's tough today for a premium publisher to demonstrate to the market that they have a high quality offering. And attention metrics give them that opportunity, which then also creates an incentive and a positive feedback loop so that people that offer high quality experience can command a commensurate price and then can actually have an incentive to make more of those types of placements.
So, Marc, these are obviously pretty polarizing times, to put it mildly, and I don't usually get to ask questions about that have the word kindness in them. There's transparency and those issues that are part of the ad marketplace, but how can kindness and transparency be seen as a competitive advantage?
So I think you can think about it as like nice versus kind, and like kind is telling someone they have something stuck in their teeth. Nice is telling someone they look perfect. Nice is like vanity metrics, like video completion rate and viewability and things that show every campaign in a positive light. Kind is more transparent media quality metrics. So I think that having a more transparent view of how your campaigns are doing and having like an honest conversation with the entire supply chain around what quality really means, like that's a positive for the entire industry. So I think you can have those two things together. You can have more transparency around media quality, and that ends up being kind to the rest of the supply chain and the rest of the ecosystem.
So, Marc, we're seeing formats like pause ads starting to gain traction over the last few years, and that seems like an outgrowth of the value of attention and attention metrics. Wanted to get your take on that. Is that something that excites you? Are there other innovations that excite you in terms of ad formats related to attention?
So pause ads are super interesting. I think it's always exciting to see new ways that publishers are innovating to deliver consumer attention in ways that are like non-interruptive and sort of more native to the experience. In the beginning, new types of ad formats will capture an outsized share of attention, and over time that starts to decline and get to sort of a stasis of attention. And so my sense is, as people get more and more used to pause ads, publishers will innovate again and try to find new novel ways to capture consumer attention.
Lastly, Marc, want you to put on your therapist hat for a second and wanted to see if there's any advice that you have for the industry right now.
So I think that, and this is a myopic view because we're in the metric business and the attention business, but I think that the entire ecosystem would benefit if people thought a little bit harder about the incentives that their metrics create. The buyers and brands and agencies have so much power around how the whole marketplace is shaped. And if they would stop and think about like, okay, if I'm going to buy viewable impressions, it's not too hard like to think a couple steps down the line about what are the incentives that's going to create. And it literally, like, buying on viewability created the web that we have today. So I think that the best piece of advice that I can give to the industry is think about the incentives that the metrics that you're using create on the rest of the supply chain and how that's going to shape the industry in the years to come.